If you own a Kindle, a Kobo, a Nook, or use the iBook app, you have probably heard a lot of talk about how the ebook providers can reach out and snatch those ebooks off your device. It gets a lot of people very worried. But how often do your ebooks actually disappear? Hello, welcome to my channel. Another bibliophile reads. My name is Greg, and in the tradition of Perry Mason, I want to discuss the case of disappearing ebooks. Because, as I said, ebooks can technically disappear from your device. But after all the people talk about it, they don't provide concrete details about how and when these ebooks are disappearing. It's all a story, a rumor, something that some people want to believe, but do not back it up with facts. Now, I know that fact checking is a little passe in today's culture, but I want to go ahead and do as much fact checking on the case of disappearing ebooks that I am able to do. A little bit of history about me and ebook reading. I started reading ebooks in 2002. I used to own a handheld device known as a PDA. It was very tiny, but it had a keyboard and a small screen, and you could read Microsoft e-reader and other applications, or should I say software, back then. I eventually stopped using those devices, and I started reading a Kindle in 2008. I had those old Kindle keyboards. In 2012, I tried a Kobo. Now, I bought the cheapest Kobo model available that was on a deep discount sale at Borders Books and Music, because at that time Borders was going out of business and they were unloading everything in their stores. I was not impressed by the Kobo, but I've heard they have been greatly improved since then. I also used to read a lot on my iPad. I use mostly the Kindle app, but sometimes I use the iBooks app. I have also read on the Kindle Voyager, the Oasis, the Scribe, and the Colorsoft. I even tried the Books device. That is the Android all-purpose device that you can read ebooks on, although it is not a dedicated ebook reader. And I mention all these devices just so you know a little bit of history about me and reading ebooks. In the beginning, if you wanted to read an ebook, you logged on to the site of preference, and then you downloaded your ebook and transferred it over to that device by a cable. That's how it worked for a long time. Even Amazon, for a time, was selling the Microsoft .lit format ebooks. You went to their site, you made your ebook purchase. Then, anywhere from 2 to 24 hours, you got an email with download instructions. This download was only available for, I think, 1 week or 2 weeks, and then it was no longer valid. So you had to download your ebooks right away. After that, they were no longer available to you. Then in 2008, Amazon released the Kindle, and ebooks were delivered directly to your device. At that time, it was not known, but Amazon had the ability to take away your purchases. In 2009, there was a huge debacle when Amazon started selling a copy of 1984 by George Orwell. They were not authorized to sell that copy. So what Amazon decided to do was remove the copy from your Kindle and refund the money for anyone who purchased it. There was a huge hue and cry to say, how dare Amazon do that? But Amazon had to do something. Those copies were illegal. Now, if you went out and bought something illegal, let's just say a car, and then tried to register that car can be taken away from you because it is stolen property. If you paid for it, you may never get your money back on that stolen car. Amazon was rather generous. They gave your money back. But still, people were so upset that they changed their policy. If you buy an illegal copy from Amazon, which they thought was legal at the time, you get to keep that copy, but no one else can make that purchase. I think that is a pretty good deal. But Amazon had to do something. But what was more shocking is that they had the ability to remove that ebook. And no one has forgotten it. And really, not everyone forgives them for that mistake. So now people know that ebook providers who send directly to the device, like Amazon and others, have the ability to remove that ebook. But really, how often does that happen? How much are you at risk of losing your ebooks by having them snatched away? I have made a previous video responding to a woman who noticed that her ebook was out of print, and when she went to the website, she got a picture of a dog saying, "Sorry, this page is no longer available." I proved that those out-of-print ebooks are generally available for download to the user, even though no one else can make that purchase. So just an ebook going out of print does not mean that book is unavailable, and Amazon has not snatched it away from its buyer. Another issue that no one else talks about is data migration errors. When a company upgrades its database, sometimes not all information makes it to the new database, and that can lead to data loss. If you purchased an ebook that, for whatever reason, got lost in data migration, yes, that book is gone. I have not experienced that personally, but as a former database programmer, I can almost assure you that somewhere in Amazon or Kobo or Apple, when they are updating their database, purchases have been lost. This is nothing intentional. It is not insidious. It's just a mistake that happens in database upgrades. Of course, if you got caught in that upgrade, you're still going to be a little upset, understandably. I have one example of a data migration error. This is from Audible. Now, of course, Audible is audiobooks, but they're closely related to ebooks, and the business model of purchasing and sending it to your device are very much the same. Audible used to be an independent company, and then Amazon bought it. And of course, the Audible database had to be upgraded. One of the very first books I purchased from Audible was The Magician by W. Somerset Maugham. A few years afterwards, after the migration had been completed, I noticed that there was a title in my catalog called The Magician by Saul Stein. Now, Saul Stein is not W. Somerset Maugham. That was, I am almost certain, a data migration error that for whatever reason they conflicted and switched around The Magician of Maugham for The Magician of Stein. Yes, that was an error. Eventually, I did call up Audible and sort of complain. I did not do that for a long time because I was under the silly assumption that they would fix it someday. They never fixed it. The Solstein Magician is still in my catalog, and I have never listened to it because it's a young adult novel and would not be interested in hearing it. But that is a case of data migration error. I'm sure that if it happened to me with that title, it has happened to other people with other titles. And even though my example is an audiobook, I can very well expect that it could happen with an ebook. In all fairness, I should mention that after talking to the customer service representative at Audible, I eventually convinced her to give me a credit on my account to purchase a different version of Mom's Magician because the one that I originally purchased was out of print. I'm not sure she believed me entirely, but she did give me the credit to buy a new version. I have another curious example about an audiobook going out of print. In 2011, I purchased Fateful Place by Tana French from Audible. A number of years later, I wanted to re-listen to that book, and I went to my phone to download it, and lo and behold, that book was not available in my catalog. And I got really incensed because I believed at the time that Audible had deleted my audiobook. So I went back to the Audible website to look for my purchase histories. Tell them, look, I purchased this book. It's no longer available. And there it was in my catalog on the website. Not available on my phone, but it was available on the website. So what I did was create a collection called Out of Print. And that is just moving that title to the collection. Now, when I go to my iPhone, I can look at my collections. And under that collection, Out of Print, the Fateful Place audiobook is available for download. How and why that happens, I'm not 100% sure. As a former database programmer, I have some ideas how this could technically happen. I'm not going to go into that in this video because talking about SQL and computer programming would probably be a lot of gibberish to most viewers. But if you look on your handheld device, your phone, or whatever you read your ebooks on or listen to your audiobooks on, and it's not available on your device, go directly to the website. Because I think there is a programming fluke that insists that out of print books not be shown on your device. They are still available to you, but you have to go directly to the website. In reality, how often do ebook providers reach out and snatch away your ebooks? I have shown a few examples of where it looks like they're gone, but they're not gone. But I wanted to find concrete examples of an ebook that's been removed. Now, I keep a database of every book I've read since December of 1990. I also record the format so I can look through my database and say, what ebooks have I been reading? And can I find these ebooks on Amazon? So I did just a quick test from 2009 and 2010. I went through my database of all the ebooks that I read, and I said, can I find these still available on Amazon? And yes, all the ones that I read that had been purchased from Amazon are still available for download. That does not mean that in 2011, Amazon deleted a book. And I have just not bothered to check with it yet. Because really, since 2011 to 2025, that would be a lot of books to check. So I just did a spot check for 2009 and 2010 and discovered that no ebooks were missing. However, there was one case where I thought an ebook had been deleted. That was Blood Music by Greg Bear. It was in my database as being read in 2010, but I could not find it on Amazon. And I said, ha ha, Amazon deleted that book. But Amazon had not deleted that book because I purchased that book from Fiction Wise, and my memory was faulty. Although I recorded the book as an ebook, I did not record its source. I only discovered it by going through my backup discs of everything or all the ebooks that I had downloaded in previous years. And I discovered it there. And I discovered it in the folder of purchases from Fiction Wise. So memory is not reliable in and of itself to prove that the book that you know that you've read and now can't find has been deleted by the ebook provider. Another big issue here that people talk about is that Amazon and other ebook providers can update the content on your device. There was a big hue and cry about Roald Dahl getting some really rather unpleasant bolderizations. And people said, Amazon, push those changes to the Kindle. Now, I have not purchased those Dahl books before or after the boulderization changes, but a few people mentioned that yes, they purchased the Roald Dahl and suddenly they had all these new unwanted changes. When someone made that comment on a previous video, I asked the person, when did you purchase this book? And when did you notice the update? I did not get a response. Of course, that does not mean that those changes weren't pushed to the Kindle. It just means that the person did not provide the fact checking and backup saying when the book was purchased, when it was updated. It still could have happened. I just wanted some verifications of how and when. Now, one of the other curious facts is I was talking to an independent author who publishes on Amazon, and the rule is you can change up to 10% of your book without releasing it in a new edition. In the publishing world, this would mean getting a new ISBN number. Now, do the new Roald Dahl books have a new ISBN number? If that is true, then I would assume that the old versions, the original versions, go out of print. And you can still download those old unchanged versions to your Kindle. Because publishers, generally speaking, do not provide you free and new content without purchasing them. I'm not saying it did not happen that way, but the person could not provide verification. This brings me to the end of the video where I am in search of verifiable disappearances or removals or changes to ebooks or audiobooks. I'm not right now interested in videos that have changed or games that have changed. Limit this to ebooks and audiobooks. Can people provide me with verifiable facts that they purchased this book on such and such a date, and then they went back to it, that book is gone? If you made your purchases from Amazon, you have a purchase history that you can go back in and check to see when you purchased that ebook. You then go to your ebook catalog and say, that book is now gone. And that would lead me to believe that the book has been removed, or it is a victim of data migration. This is what I want to learn because I am only one person. I only have my data set to go through. I want other people to go through their data sets and look for these verifiable disappearances or removals because I'm curious, how often do ebooks actually disappear? Thank you for watching and keep on reading.